Meet the team that doesn't just talk about impact, they ignite it. Jim Morris and producer Rachel.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy Friday.
Sure. Oh God, yes, happy Friday.
What a week. I feel like a lot has happened this week in
So
our
much
lives and some of our Impact Effect community members' lives. People are scaling, people are hiring, people are doing things that are outside of their comfort zone. Like what an amazing week. What an amazing week so far.
Yeah, this week was all about like getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, I feel like, right? Where it's like, hey, we want to grow a team. Fabulous. Here are the things that we have to do. We want to market to more people. Amazing. Right. So I love being in a space with other people that all want to grow together. Does that make sense? Because I don't feel like I'm so alone in like growing and scaling a business. And that's
anything in life is funner when you do it with the right people.
Exactly.
Right. And that's the beauty of community is you and I necessarily don't have to be the right person for everybody, because there's so many amazing people in the community that can step in and be that person to connect deep with. Right. And of course, you and I want to be that. And I think we are that for so many of our members. But the beauty of it is it's not just a Jim Morris show. You know, it's not just the producer Rachel show. That's what we get on our own YouTubes. Right. This community is about the people within and spreading the love and the resource. I was talking to one of our members yesterday, and they were just saying how they were fired up because, you know, they have to grab their business basically and get a hold of it. And this was kind of the wake up call in one of the webinars, and just kind of hearing the fact that no one was going to come to save them. No one was going to, you know, be there to just ride in the glory of the night and fix all the problems, you know?
Yeah, that doesn't happen. FYI, if that's what you think is going to happen, it's not going to. It's all on your shoulders, especially if you're a solopreneur or a small business owner. I think that's the hardest thing when you realize like, oh, wait, like I am the marketing team. I am the sales team. I'm the promotions team. I'm the talent. I'm all the things, right? Like I'm the financial team. And that was hard this week. The other day, like it sort of hit me where I was like, I felt overwhelmed. Like we're trying to be in our community as much as we can. And also continue to grow our businesses. So it was like, I had a moment where I was like, I don't know if I can keep doing this. And I had an interview scheduled that morning, and on somebody else's podcast, the Let's Glow show. She's amazing. Amanda's amazing. And she's all about sort of like creating magic in your life, right? And like you are the one who creates the magic. You don't wait for the magic to happen. You create the magic. And so she kind of allowed me the space to just be honest, right? And just say how I felt in that moment and like feel my feels, feel the emotions. Because I think a lot of us sort of just like suck it up and move on, right? Like suck it up, buttercup, like sucks for you. You're a business owner. If you can't do it, get out. And so, but she allowed me the space to just have that conversation of, I've been so focused on growing this community that I didn't book clients for like the end of April or May. Payroll's coming up. How am I going to balance all of these things? And then also try to sell, because you know this, selling is my Achilles heel. I have it's uncomfortable for me. I'm getting used to it. Actually, Jim's training has been amazing inside of the community. So we're getting there. It's baby steps, but we're getting there, right? Like, at least I'm making progress. But it was just all about being comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I just had this beautiful interaction with this beautiful woman who allowed me to just let it out. Does that make sense? And then that I wasn't necessarily coming from a place of lack, but I wasn't coming from a place of abundance either. And so what I kind of did through that conversation, just allowing me to speak it out loud, kind of shifted the energy around it, right? Like I wasn't so low energy anymore. I was like, okay, at the end of that conversation, it was like, okay, I got it out. I can do this. Like I still want to keep doing this. And within hours, and I'm not even kidding, within hours, immediately got a call about an event that night. And then the next day, a grand opening, a paid event that would cover payroll. No problem. They accepted my rate. I was like, okay. Then I got a call from a client who has been trying to set up like her own little studio And she's just like, I can't do the tech and then none of this is working. I need you to come help me. And I was like, great. My rate is this. Like, I have a minimum. I have a 2-hour minimum. And she was like, no problem. It's priceless. I was like, okay, no problem. And then I got a call from a friend who is still in radio. And he's like, hey, I may have a consultant opportunity for you. And I was like, no problem. Get me on the phone with the right person. So immediately, as soon as I sort of let myself feel the feels, because again, a lot of us sort of push that emotion down and we just suck it up and move on. But I gave myself the space and the time to just be honest about how I was feeling, but then also how I want, like what I wanted out of it. Like, what magic do I want to create from this? And immediately everything flipped. So I think God, the universe, source, whatever you call it, I feel like always provides if you have faith that like it will work out, instead of staying in that like this sucks feeling. If you move that to like just having faith and belief that like, you know what, it'll work out, immediately everything changed. So I just wanted to share that with people, because I used to be the person stuck in the muck. I used to be the person always just here, right? Like, this sucks. Why is this happening to me? And until I started to understand it's not happening to me, it's happening for me. And it's up to me to get myself out. Again, what Jim said earlier, no one's coming to save me, right? And we have to start getting comfortable with just being uncomfortable, but also just speak it out loud. So I wanted to share that with you because I thought it was so magical.
No, it was. And there's so many lessons inside of that, right? Like you said, so many great things. One of the things that really stuck out to me when you're sharing that story is the fact that you had to kind of just feel through it so you could get to the other side, right? And I think that's really important, because we ruminate around these ideas. We ruminate around the same thing over and over because we just haven't fully gone through it, right? And I'll take it to the extreme here, as I as I often do. But I was watching a podcast. This gentleman, Joe Hudson, I've brought him up before. He's like, I don't know, I just want to like kiss this man. He's like, what comes out of his mouth is gold. And it just aligns with me and all the studying and research I've been doing. He references a lot of studies and things that I've looked deeply into. But he ultimately said, like, in order to love his wife when they were bickering and fighting, like they would literally just be like, okay, let's just feel through the fact of like this marriage like ending. Is like, I know that sounds harsh, but like just sit there and feel it through. Like feel that feeling, like go all out. Like he's like, me and my wife did it. Like she's screaming, right? Like bloody murder basically. And like he is literally just weeping and weeping and like water flow tears, right? Not like just like, and he's hyperventilating and he's like, obviously this is the extreme, but he's like, I felt through that. And then then about 10 minutes later, we both kind of came back and it was like, what were we talking about? Like what even matters? Because I just felt the pain for the last 10 minutes of us not being married or being separated or not being in each other's lives. And now I'm kind of not, I felt that and I'm over it. I know it's not the reality. So like, well, let's get back to this, because now that I felt that, I know like none of this actually even matters, right? And like that's such an intense case, right? Like I know that when I say that, it's like, what the hell are you talking about, Jim? Like I don't want to feel that. But the whole point of that was it doesn't have to be the extreme. It doesn't have to be at that level. But if you feel through those emotions, then you can now pivot that energy. And I think that's exactly what you did, Rachel. And your therapy, to call it, or your use case, or your example, or your lane was that podcast, which makes so much sense for you, right? You're a producer. You're on a million podcasts. You put together podcasts. You collaborate. You get people together. You film. You produce it. Like, that would be the lane for you to feel the most comfortable to just release that negative energy and then come out of that podcast feeling, okay, I'm good. Like that, I felt through that. It's there. Now it's time to move on. And I'm not so worried about it. I'm not thinking and creating these scenarios that aren't real because I just felt through it. So I know what's real, right? I know what that emotion feels like. And now I've felt it and I'm past it. Now I'm open to receive. Now I'm open to those phone calls and those text messages, and maybe stepping around a little lighter, maybe, just putting out better energy. And that's also going to set you up for the future as well. Like I always say, and when you told me the other day, like, oh, that call came in right after, one thing that also came to mind was like, you've been consistently showing up. You've been doing the things. You've been supporting your clients. You've been putting out badass content from them. You've been collaborating with them. You've been on this show. You've been on that show in the last week. We did a virtual summit. We do the morning show every morning. Like, people are seeing those consistent moments. And then when that transfer of energy happens, the phone starts to ring. Like, it makes so much sense to me, but I think the hardest thing is having that faith,
Having the faith is hard when you're in the feels. Does that make sense? And I think speaking it out loud truly helps because, like you said, it's just, you get lighter. And when you can get lighter, it sort of like moves your vibration up a little bit each time. And then when you can get to belief that like, I can do this, right? Like, is every day perfect? No, especially when you're a small business owner or an entrepreneur. Like, I'm sure Monday I'll be crying, but at the same time, like in this moment, I feel amazing. In this moment, I can do it again, right? Like, it's so hard because it ebbs and flows. When you have a job and you know what your paycheck is going to be and you know what the expectations are, like, it's pressing the easy button. When you have a small business, you're an entrepreneur, or maybe you even have a side hustle, like, it ebbs and flows like this. And it's like, well, when the times are great, who are you? But also, more importantly, when the times aren't great, who are you? And that really sort of, it was like that moment of looking in the mirror of, okay, am I going to like just let it all go that I worked so hard for? Or am I going to like suck it up, buttercup, and keep going? Because it always goes back this way, right? So when it's here, who are we? And that really like shined the light on like, who am I here?
Yeah.
And that was the best moment.
Who are you in the valleys? Who are you in the valleys? What a question to be asked. Wow. Woo. Got goosebumps over here.
It's the most important question, honestly, especially when you have a small business that is inconsistent, right? And like, I know where my spots are that I have to work on, which is why I'm so grateful, like, to you and the community that we've created, because we're filling in those gaps. And it's like boom, holy cow, this is why we're doing this.
Yeah, that level of support, that level of friendship, that level of guidance. I mean, just having the opportunity to be like, hey, I saw your comment in the real talk section of our community, and like, hey, you doing good? What's going on? How's it going? How are you feeling today? Right? Like, just some of those questions that just pop up naturally through relationships and deep human connection. Just those things, I think, can change the trajectory of our day, can change the trajectory of our energy, right? And the path that we're on. That level of support, that level of checking in, that level of community, right? Like the community.
Exactly.
I'm looking for the word, but it's fucking right there on the.
It's literally right there. That's so funny. All right. So I feel like today's challenge should really be, number one, speak it out loud. Find a friend, find a therapist, somebody to just get it out. Because when you're holding it inside and you're stuck in the muck and you can't get out of it, it's not a good place to be. You can't create from there. Magic can't happen from that space of that like low vibration, low frequency. I'm stuck in the muck and I'm just circling around, right? So figure out how to get out of that. Speak it out loud. It really does help. If you feel like you don't have somebody to speak it to, write it in a journal maybe, right? Like, just get it all out. And then also consider, where are you in the valleys? Where are you when the tide is like low, right? Who are you? And just feel the feels. I'm not giving you a solution to any of that. All I'm saying is like, feel what that feels like and really understand, who are you when it peaks, but also more importantly, who are you when it's down here, right? And how do we get out of that? Because nobody wants to stay there. Nobody wants to stay there. So utilize the tools that you have, utilize the people around you, speak it out loud, and then watch that energy shift. Have an amazing Friday, everybody. Yay!
Friday.
Friday.
Talk about
All right.
Friday after those 3 clients, Rachel, that you picked up yesterday.
I know. I'm so
Come
excited.
on.
I can't wait. I'm so excited. All right. Have a great day, everybody. We will see you again on Monday. And if you want to join the community, it's right here. We'll see you over the weekend in the community. Bye.